All right. So let me just double check the volume. All right. So let me just double check the volume. Okay, great. Now let's start. Let's review what has happened for the past week and forecast the next week ahead. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with Nasdaq here. I've already annotated the charts, so we are probably gonna breeze through this. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the economic calendar as well. Right. So for sorry, this is ES. Let's start off with Nasdaq. Nasdaq futures. Okay. So on the monthly time frame, the levels I'm looking for, it's the consequent encroachment of this monthly fair value gap, and as well as the consequent encroachment of the premium wick. Okay, so right here, that's your monthly CB. I mean the monthly BC. Okay, so these are the monthly levels that I'm interested in for targets. Okay, on the weekly chart, as you can see, we have a weekly volume imbalance here. Because there is no body overlaying this volume imbalance, I'm expecting this to be acting as a magnet, so price is going to come back again. It's going to gravitate back into this level again if price remains bearish. Okay, and we have a weekly fair value gap here as well. Let me just clean up a little bit. Okay, so we have a weekly fair value gap here as well. So if it wants to overextend lower for the next week, which means continuation, then we are going to see price attack this area here, and within this vicinity we have the consequent encroachment of the monthly premium wick. Okay, below the sell side here we have the monthly level here as well, so I think this low is going to be taken. Okay, basically the previous week's low. Okay, next on the daily chart, my only interest on the daily chart would be this swing high, this two up close candles, and this daily volume imbalance. Okay, I am thinking that we're gonna attack this volume imbalance sometime in the week. Okay, even though I am anticipating a continuation lower. Okay, so jumping back into the all right, just before I do that, this right here, this swing high, I'm using it as invalidation. Okay, why is that so? Because over here price has been pretty balanced, so once it trades through this consolidation right here, I don't really want to see price come back up if it wants to go lower, right? So this would be my invalidation for lower prices, right? Any retracements up till this other block, I am considering it to fade it. Okay, heading down into the lower time frame, 6 hours, we have a 6 hour breaker here, swing high, higher high, the low that made the high, down close candle here, this is your breaker. Right, so preferably no candle closing above the mean threshold of this on the block here, right? The breaker block. Right, so the roadmap for next week. So basically, this is next week. I am expecting continuation because in the month of November, we are actually having 5 weeks, okay, two incomplete weeks, which would be the first and the last. So I am not going to use this as Q1. I am going to use this as Q1. Okay, so Q1 starts at 5th of November and Q2 will start in 12th of November. So the highest probability setups would occur in 20th November. Okay, um, I will be away for 1 week going for a holiday. I think it's gonna be the first and the second week. So for this weekend here, on the 12th, on the 12th, okay, no, on the 11th of November, Saturday, I will not be doing any weekly forecast, okay, because I'll be away for holiday. Anyways, I'm expecting high probabilities right here. Why is that so? Because we have already taken a lot of higher time frame objectives, okay, and of course, if it shows willingness to expand even lower, then obviously I'm going to trade it. So it all depends on what the market presents, okay. Next week we have quite a number of high impact news as well. So we have non-farm payroll week, and at the same time we have FOMC funds rates and the statement. So that's going to be super high volatility. That is going to be happening on Wednesday, okay, barring no changes to it. So it's going to be quite a eventful week, I am assuming, which means I am expecting expansion for next week instead of a consolidation, even though we are entering um, a new month. Okay, so I'm expecting consolidation only on 5th November onwards. Okay, which means this week here, not this week, right? Okay, so um, what am I looking for? It's basically previous week's low, right? Judging from the price action here, I think we might want to attack the daily volume imbalance first and maybe even rally higher to the breaker before lower prices. On Monday and Tuesday, price may be in consolidation due to Wednesday's high impact news, which is FOMC. So really the best days to trade for next week, it would be during Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. I would avoid Wednesday's morning session, okay, because in the PM session there is the FOMC news driver, all right, and finally Friday after NFP. So these are the only 3 days I'm gonna trade, um, and I shall see how it goes. So from here, if we zoom in into the 4 hours, I'm gonna use this measurement as a projection of how far the price is gonna go, right? So right here, based off the 4 hours candles, if price is able to close below 2.5 after it attacks this sell stops, then obviously we are going to hit the fourth standard deviation, which would line in perfectly with that monthly premium wicks midpoint. Okay, so I am very interested in that. This seems quite a nice projection, okay, in this current dealing range, right? So right here at 2 to 2.5, we got some retracements here, which is totally acceptable. And how far is it going to retrace to? Can retrace above 1, but best shorts are always within 1 to 1.5, right? So this is termed as the silver bullet for the Phipps projection. So this is for Nasdaq, right? Overall next week I am still leaning bearish until I am invalidated right here at this swing high. Okay. Now let's head over to ES. ES right here. Right. same thing, starting from the monthly. For ES monthly, you can see that we are closing really close to the mean threshold of this down close candle. Okay, so I am basically using this down close candle as a proportion order block. Okay, I'm not sure if it is correct. Please do not quote me on this, but I am using this as a proportion order block. All right. So I don't really want to see any closing prices on a monthly basis if I am bullish below this mean threshold. Okay, which would come in right about at 4068.75. Okay, so monthly, these are the levels. I don't really have any monthly levels for ES except for this low here. This low here would be the weekly equal lows, right? The final objective for ICT's forecast for this year. All right. So for the weekly, it's pretty clear that price it's wanting to go lower into this volume imbalance right here. Okay, why do I say so? Because it's closing really close to this consequent encroachment, even after taking out this sell stops, right? So yeah, I don't really see this as a potential reversal, but more of a continuation lower to these levels here. Okay, so we are trading within a weekly BC here, and for me, once it drops below this weekly BC, then this is going to be used as a inversion fair value gap to send the price lower, right? We have a order block here on weekly, but I'm not too interested in that. So heading over to the weekly, I mean the daily time frame. Same thing for ES. Because we have a consolidation right here, which means this area here, this high to this low, it's a balanced price range, and price has left the range, so I'm expecting continuation lower. Okay, likewise, it might come back into this daily volume imbalance for a short into the weekly volume balance high. Okay, any trading above this invalidation, I mean this order block here, I will be on the sidelines 50-50. Okay, I don't really want to see this order block traded through. Right, so this is daily 6 hours. Um, so this right here would be invalidation wise. That's all because it has already taken out buy stops right here. So it doesn't have to come back here anymore for bearish prices. Okay. Right. So if I drop down to the 4 hours, right, I'm gonna use the fibs for projections once again. So we're trading right within 2 to 2.5, and I want to see if we can retrace back up into this order block and then send it lower, because I'm more bearish on ES as compared to Nasdaq. Okay, so it might just want to keep on rolling lower, right? So obviously, if it trades above this swing higher, I wouldn't be too worried. For me, this would just be a turtle soup sell. Okay, because we have a 6 hours breaker above here as well, right? So I am not worried too much about this. So that's for ES, right? Same thing for Nasdaq, lower prices. Now let me just take a look at the SMTs. Okay, I want to see if there is any SMTs. Right. Let's start off with the daily. Okay. Right here, Dow Jones made higher high, yes, and Nasdaq made a lower low. Okay, within this range here, right, and then it plummeted. Okay, so let's take a look at the 6 hours. Any SMTs on the lows as well. So this is the high. Yes, there's SMTs on the lows right now. Okay, so ES and Dow Jones are making lower lows as compared to NQ. Okay, NQ is refusing to take out this low here. Um, so in this case, I am anticipating a draw into the the daily volume imbalance first before lower prices. Okay, right. The SMT is showing me that, right? But at the same time, please be reminded the high time frames it's bearish. Still, we are still in bearish order flow, so this could just be a six sister concept whereby Nasdaq is lagging behind the two other indices, and eventually it's gonna catch up. So don't place too much emphasis on the SMTs right here. Okay. Okay, so I am done with the indices. I'm going to move on to DXY. So DXY on the daily looks really good. We have stop hunt, and then we have this bullish fair value gap right here. We have higher time frame objectives. So the two objectives I'm looking at, it's the swing high weekly and consequent encroachment of this weekly fair value gap. At the same time, in the vicinity of that consequent encroachment, we have a unfilled daily fair value gap, basically an inefficiency. So I believe price is going to run into this inefficiency after taking out this high here. Okay. For dollar, quite an uneventful week. I was anticipating distribution to the upside, but it gave a consolidation instead. Okay. So low probability markets, basically. I mean, not for the previous week, but for the previous month of October, right? So because I was anticipating distribution in the month of October, right? So anyways, this is dollar. I don't really want to see this low swept one more time, right? Because it has already done so, and it has shifted market structure right here. So this consecutive down close candles, especially this candle here, it's going to be used as a bullish order block to send the price higher. And yes, that's for dollar. So if I'm bullish on dollar, basically you're bearish on all the foreigns that are denominated in USD. Okay, basic. Right. So moving on, I am going to cover gold. It's been a while since I have covered gold because it hasn't really moving much until some of the world events taking place. Okay. Right here, this is gold. Oh, hold on a second. I'm on the wrong template. Right, I'm gonna move on to the next template. Gold. Okay. Right, so I'm gonna erase all the drawings here. Right. I'm gonna start drawing it again. So maybe you can see how I derived this, or how do I draw from a plain chart. Okay. Let's see. Alright, so gold is basically moving in the same direction as the dollar, which means um, Low probability conditions due to decoupling, but of course it doesn't mean that you can't trade it, right? So we have an order block right here, bullish order block, and I believe it's gonna sweep this high again. So how far can this high, can this go? I would be looking at the fourth standard deviation, 2187.62. Okay, and from there we should see some reversal back down for gold. Okay, we have a bullish fair value gap here. And I am anticipating this gap to be a breakaway gap. Okay, so it's not going to trade back into this gap here. Okay, that would validate a reversal from this low. Okay, so reversals, you want to see parabolic price action above 50% for reversals. Okay, so because I'm anticipating this to be a reversal to take out this high, right, the high that formed this low here, I want to see parabolic price actions moving towards this high. Okay, so very little time is going to be spent doing so, and with this information you can kind of forecast what's going to happen next for the world events. Okay, all right, so from gold let's move to Bitcoin. All right, I think Bitcoin finally hit my target that I was looking for. So basically I was looking for this high, and as well as the monthly consequent encroachment of the fair value gap, which would come in right around at 34,780. Okay, so those were the two targets that I was looking for since this low here, in since June basically, or May. I'm not too sure about June or May, right? So because we have reached into this level here, I'm anticipating a reversal down into this low here. Why? Because it's a quarterly fair value gap. Okay, so and we have confluence of equal lows as well. So it's definitely going to come back here, but it's going to take a while, just like how it did right here and how it did right here as well. So Bitcoin, as they have mentioned, runs on a higher time frame cycle. So moves are going to take really long to play out sometimes, unless you're in a highly um, liquid market conditions, like for example this time here. Okay, where everybody is hyping about it, trading about it. So maybe that's where you get the speed for Bitcoin. But overall, still adhering to the higher time frames better as compared to the lower time frames, which is why I am only looking at weekly um, time frame for Bitcoin as the lowest time frame. I'm not too interested in looking at the daily 4 hours and let alone the minutes. Right, so for Bitcoin, lower prices from these levels here, and yeah, we'll see how it comes through. It took like 133 days. That is about 4 months to hit this level here. 4 months. Okay, that's pretty long. But if you consider the gains, it's not too long to ask for. Right? It's not too long, right? To see this type of gains. How much gains was this? So 37%, not too bad for in span of 4 months. So basically an average about, you can round it off 10% per month. Not too bad, not too bad. Right, so this is Bitcoin here. And obviously ultimately I'm looking at this lows here and this breaker here. Okay, this breaker, that would be around $10,000 Bitcoin right here. So let me just adjust this. Oops. Right. $10,000 Bitcoin is all I'm looking at. Right. Eventually, once the lows here are taken, okay, and I am assuming that's gonna happen. So let's move on to some individual stocks. Oh no, I almost forgotten about HSI. It hasn't been moving much as well. So for HSI, I have been calling for the low to be swept for quite a few weeks already, and it has been taking forever, but it's still respecting the PD arrays as I have annotated many weeks ago. Anyways, I because I'm bearish, I want to see speed below this low here. Okay, these lows are definitely going to be taken, and then I want to see speed down because we are in Q4 and we are only seeing a lethargic expansion right here. Okay, so this time frame here, I am thinking it's gonna be do it on. It's more like a go big or go home type of analogy. So it's either this quarter or it's gonna reverse. Okay, because price is so lethargic towards this low here, I am not too confident that it's gonna attack this low here and this low here in with speed, even though I want to see it happen. Okay, so price action is telling me that we might be seeing some form of a reversal or a strong retracement after taking out this low, right? But time will tell. Let's just wait. I'm not trading in this market, I'm just analyzing it. Okay, I'm not too interested in this market conditions here. There are way better conditions in other markets. Okay, so let's move on to individual stocks. Let's start with Tesla as usual. Let me see how long am I in. Oh, 27 minutes. I'm gonna speed through. So Tesla, because we have reached 2 to 2.5 standard deviations, this is what we got. Strong retracements, right? I want to see this breaker hold. Okay, if this breaker doesn't hold, then obviously we're going to go down even lower. Okay, and I've mentioned before, targets are over here. This low here, $90. Right, so this is for Tesla. Let's take a look at Disney. It's been taking forever as well for Disney. Right, so as I've mentioned, I do not want to see price trading above this on the block. I mentioned many weeks ago. So right here it came back up, swept this liquidity here, this swing high, and then now we run it back down. So below this low here, I want to see speed into the fifth standard deviation, which would be around 74, 74.08. Okay, that's the price level for Disney. Right, so as long as it stays below this order block here, I am bearish for Disney. Basic ICT concepts. Okay, so next up we have, let's take a look at Meta. It's been a while. I want to see if it's holding well. Finally, it's ranging. Okay. Because Meta, I'm using the monthly levels here. So this is the proportion order block. Okay. Right. So basically, I do not want to see any closing price above 326.11. Okay. And look at the opening price here. This is way too perfect, right? So for proportion order blocks, sorry, anal did you analyze the gold? Yes, I've done the gold analysis. You can watch the replay if you wish to. Okay. So, anyways, because this is a proportion order block, I am expecting strong reactions from this low of the week to this opening price. Okay, so I want to see strong reaction in three levels: the low of the week, the midpoint of the week, and the opening price. If I do not get that, then this is a low probability proportion on the block. But right here, we did get this strong rejection. So right now I'm looking to see if you can trade back into this inversion balanced price range. Okay, so I mean not inversion balanced price range, but in a balanced price range. Okay, so on the weekly, right? On the weekly, taking out the highs here, taking out the lows here, short-term lows taken out. So we are in bearish order flow for now in the short term, or it could be just in a consolidation. Okay, because it has run up really high from the lows here. So I am anticipating downside move into this balanced price range, right? But the fact that it has closed above this BPR as well, I think. Let me just take a look. Yes, because the fact that it has closed above this BPR, I'm not too interested in Meta, just just basically saying what I see here. So yeah, not interested. But these are the levels that I'm looking at. Okay. Next up we have, let's do one more US stock and I'm gonna move to the next one. Um what US stock is that is interesting? Oh, Palantir. It's been a while. Palantir. Alright, so ever since trading up into this breaker here, it hasn't been showing much willingness to trade higher. Okay, as I've mentioned, if you are anticipating a reversal, you want to see price deliver parabolic. You want to see parabolic delivery towards the upside. So we are not having that here. So right here, it's basically trading into premium, and then after that, it's coming back down. The lows here looks pretty clean, so it might want to just take it out before higher prices, right? Same thing as Tesla. No, not Tesla. Same thing as Meta. Could be in consolidation. Not too interested. Right. Anyways, let's move on to JD. Right. JD. Okay. So JD here, perfect. This is what I want to see actually. Low resistance liquidity runs to objectives. Okay, so the fact that it has closed below this BPR right here, I am leaning super and ultra bearish for JD. Right, so this is the BPR closing below here. It's gonna spell doom and gloom for JD. Right, so near term objectives, I'm looking at this low here at 23.52, and eventual terminus target would be 19.21. Google. Okay, I'll do Google after JD, right? Right. So as long as price is below this close candles here, I'm not too bullish for JD. Even if it trades above this BPR, okay, it has to show willingness to go higher above the mean threshold of these two close candles here, right? Right. Let's jump into Google. Google. Whoops. What is this? Google Alphabet Inc. Right. So Google. Let me know if this is the correct one. I'm not too sure about this. Class C. Oh, I thought Google was at thousands, but never mind. I think it should be the same. So for Google, let me check the high here. 123.14. 123. Okay. Oh, so it's GOOGL. Google. No. Okay. So let me just remove the drawings here. Oops. right, right here, Google. Oh no, the rectangle is too small. Okay. Right now, to me, it's 50-50 for Google. Okay. If you are bullish, you don't really want to see this down close candle traded through. Okay. So worst case scenario, you don't really want to see this um, fair value gap to be traded through. Okay. So no closing prices below this level here, 109.17. So if it closes below, then I'm gonna lean bearish for Google. So far, it's still bullish, but it's not showing any signs of wanting to take out this high here. Right, let me have a sip. All right. So as I've mentioned before, if you're expecting reversals, you want to see parabolic price delivery above 50%. So right now it is not showing that. Deeper retracements are not really um, welcomed if you are anticipating a reversal. Okay. Best case scenario, it doesn't close below this level here. 122.85. You do not want to see any close below this level here. Okay. Below this level is a warning sign that's going to come down to this swing low, which is 115.35. That's for Google on the monthly time frame, right? So you gotta wait for quite a while. Right, so this high here basically is just this mean threshold, 39.8 something, 85, 85. Can't see. Let me just, yeah, 139.85. Okay. So it has found some resistance at the mean threshold of this bearish order block. Okay, so that is not what you want to see if it's going to reverse. So you want to see candle closing above this level, and then you can look for this swing high. But so far, it's respecting this level, so I believe we might want to attack this swing low here for Google. And below the swing low, how far can you go? The mean, the midpoint of this fair value gap, which would come in right about 112.64. Right? So that's for Google. So far, I think it's basically trading in a range. Okay, so this is the current dealing range, and it has basically traded from discount to premium, and I believe it's going to trade from premium into discount once again. So yes, that's for Google. Okay, next I'm going to cover Nvidia. Right, so far it has taken out this equal lows here, as I have mentioned a few weeks back. So right now I want to see it overextend down to this low and eventually into this old high. Okay, because we have quite a huge inefficiency and it was running really fast on the way up. So as fast as it goes up, it's going to come down with the same speed. Right, so that's what I'm anticipating for Nvidia. This top here was just way too perfect. Okay, anyways, I'm bearish for Nvidia until we can get above this swing high. Make sense? So Nvidia, that's how I am viewing it. Okay, so since it's taken out this low, I'm going to remove it. I want to see speed for the following weeks. All right. Next, and probably the last, I'm going to cover Alibaba, one of the Discord's favorite company with. Right. So same thing for same thing as HSI. It's showing really slow and lethargic movements lower. Okay. I don't really like this type of conditions to enter something. Okay. So let's say I want to enter Baba. This would not be the market profile that I'm interested in. Okay. What I want to see is something like this and this. I want to see speed. Okay, I don't like to wait for very long for my moves to play out, right? So for Baba, we have volume imbalance here, so naturally it's going to gravitate it back until it's ready to move lower. Okay, so right here, this is the volume imbalance on the weekly time frame. So as long as this high stays intact, okay, I am bearish. Once this high is taken out, I have a soft invalidation, and once this level is closed above, then that is my invalidation, and it's probably going to run the highs here. Okay, so that's my analysis for Baba, and because I'm bearish, same thing for HSI. I want to see speed below this low, 77.77. Wow, what a nice number. Okay, so speed below this low into the minimum of this volume imbalance here at around 72 or 73, and then eventually gravitate down to 57.2. Okay, and I'm expecting it to overextend to 45. Right, that's for Alibaba. Okay, so far I have covered what I want to cover. Let me see if there's anybody still watching. Okay, so if you're still watching, if you have any questions, do ask now, because I'm gonna cut the stream shortly. Okay, I'm gonna wait for 3 minutes. So basically to 10:23. I'm gonna cut the stream if there are no questions asked. Okay. Let's take a look at oil. US oil. US oil. Oops. I'm cutting the stream at 10:23 if there are no more questions. Right. Do I use? Yes, yes. Of course. Market maker buy sell models. I do use them. Um, I learned that from Zusi, right? One of the ICT traders that specializes in market maker models. He's really good at it. So if you want to master this skill set, just look for him. The free content that he has posted are good enough. Even though you can of course opt to join his um, group or mentorship. I think it's called the ones that know. right? I mean, like, just follow him and you'll find it out. You'll find out. But I don't use it often for market maker models. I don't really use it often. I only use it to frame context and narrative. Right. So for oil, I'm still bullish. So because I'm bullish on oil, something must make it rally, right? So yep. So just keep a lookout on the world events when you're looking at the markets for oil, dollar index, and gold. What do you think about DR? I have no idea about DR and IDR. I have no idea. Okay, so I can't comment anything about it. It seems pretty complicated because you have the lines here. I mean, you have line. I see their lines. There are lots of lines on their charts. So for me personally, when I trade, I try to trade with as little things as there is on the charts. So yeah, I don't really know anything about DR from master, but I heard it's pretty accurate. I heard it's pretty accurate. I mean, I'm not too sure if you are selecting a model, but I think that is more like a step two. You know, step one should be knowing where the market is going to gravitate to, and then you you have to go through the process to find out which model fits you, and that's going to be your trial and error. So I think there's no escaping from that process. Okay, so once you have ICT concepts and you have basic drawn liquidity, and then you're going to go through the trial and errors for all the different models that are available, and then you're going to find one that fits you, that suits you, that you can resonate the best with, and then you're just going to stick to that model. And yeah, that's basically the secret sauce. Okay, and after you stick to that, I mean, after you found your model, don't switch, don't change it. Just use it. I mean, just use it, practice it, and with proper risk management, everything's gonna come in your way. Okay. Any more questions from the ground? All right, so countdown 1 minute starts now. I'm going to close it at 10:29. Okay, so if there are no more questions, I will cut very soon. Oh, wait, it's the base. Oops. Just keeping track on the higher time frames, this is where we are at for NQ. Okay, just gonna briefly cover this before I close the stream. So on Nasdaq, I have these levels here. Basically, if price it's gonna close below this level here, I am gonna be really bearish for Nasdaq. Right now, I'm still bullish, and I believe it can come back into this level here before higher prices. Right, I think this highs. One of the indices should take out a higher. I mean, should make a higher high. Right, I am thinking that's gonna happen, but I'm not too sure how it's gonna happen. Okay, for ES, it's the same thing, even though it's more bearish than NQ. Any closing price below the consequent encroachment of the week here, I'm not too confident in ES. Okay, so this is a monthly chart, right? So the closing price is on the quarterly. So any quarterly closing prices below here, I am super bearish for ES. And any closing prices on the quarterly for Nasdaq below this level here, I am bearish as well. So far, we are still good for all-time highs so far. Okay. Right. I will cut the stream now. Right. Thank you for watching, and if you find it helpful, insightful, do leave a like. And if you have any lingering questions that you have that you did not manage to ask, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I'll try my best to answer them. Yep. Right, and I'll see you guys in the next session. Take care, and good luck trading next week.